folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner.
Hurry! Get Jessica away! Get her away, man! Hurry! My revenge has spread over centuries and has just begun!
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Urshan, and this week we are showcasing my Hammer Horror collection, and this is Volume 3. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff I didn't show in the last two videos. And let's start off with this awesome puzzle that me and my wife put together. And that I just had to frame it and show it off to you guys. I just think it's freaking amazing. Let's get a closer look at it. I know I'm not exactly Martin Scorsese over here. Yeah, just a nice little showcase of all the classic Hammer horror movies. And yeah, I just love it. Then I'm going to show off some of the Hammer autographs that I have. This is the lovely Caroline Munro, and this is a classic scene from Dracula AD 1972. And this is Isla Blair from Taste the Blood of Dracula. I just love that gothic tone, that gothic setting. You got, Linda Hayden over here and Isla Blair looking up those stairs. So gothic. And yes, the master, the late, great Christopher Lee. I actually have his autograph, and unfortunately I didn't actually meet him. This was ordered from online, but still it's so awesome to have it. And there's the late, great Veronica Carlson, pictured here with Christopher Lee as Count Dracula. Yeah, such a great actress, so beautiful, and it's so sad that she died. And I actually had ordered this very, very shortly before she died. Now let's get to a couple cool action figures I had, yeah. These are from Mego Toys, yes. Hammer Frankenstein, baby, yes, from The Curse of Frankenstein. That was Christopher Lee as the monster. I love these things. So cool. Amazing, just had to have it. And yes, I was able to get a Hammer Dracula figure, yes. This is just amazing, I freaking love it. Yeah, I had a hard time trying to find this, but I did find it at a record store. Badass, look at that. Hell yeah. Christopher Lee as Count Dracula, so amazing. And then we have Count Dracula's arch nemesis. And that is Peter Cushing as Van Helsing. Definitely my favorite version of the character Van Helsing. That, of course, is a scene from the Satanic Rites of Dracula there. Yes, Van Helsing. And here I got some Hammer horror playing cards. How about that? So cool. I got that from Fi for your entertainment, the record store. Which sadly does not have very many movies anymore at 5, which is, yeah, sad. See, the cover there is basically just like the puzzle back there. But on the other side you got, you know, all the classic films there. Curse of Frankenstein, The Devil Rides Out, Prehistoric Women, Vampire Circus, Dracula, Prince of Darkness, The Lost Continent. Really, really cool. So if you get a chance to pick any of these up, man, really, really cool. Love it. Now I'm going to showcase some of the magazines that I have that are Hammer horror related. This one I found at a comic shop, the Scarlet Street, and there you have the great Peter Cushing as Dr. Frankenstein. And yeah, most of these are going to be The Dark Side, which is my favorite horror magazine. And they do a lot of focus on Hammer films, which is just great. And they always have these beautiful covers. I love the artwork there. You got Ingrid Pitt there and the Vampire Lovers. Yeah, of course, Christopher Lee, Horror of Dracula there. I love this Sweet Caroline. We got Caroline Munro as featured in Dracula AD 1972 there. Love this one. This is so cool. And that's Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. Another scene from Horror of Dracula there. That's Jonathan Harker getting ready to stake the vampire woman, played by Valerie Gaunt. And yes, once again, Peter Cushing as Dr. Frankenstein, and that's, of course, from Frankenstein Created Woman, one of my favorite in the Frankenstein series from Hammer. Alright, and let's show off some of the films that I got that I didn't show in my previous videos. And the Curse of Frankenstein, yes, and this is the hyped up Blu-ray, which is actually from, yes, Warner Brothers, which is amazing. So far, this is the only one I've seen that is an actual, you know, special edition Blu-ray from Warner Brothers. Yeah, all kinds of great special features, and hoping we see more of that from Warner Brothers, you know. And this is Horror of Frankenstein, and this is the only entry in Hammer's Frankenstein series that doesn't have Peter Cushing as Frankenstein. It has Ralph Bates as a young Frankenstein. Not to be confused with the movie Young Frankenstein. And this does have Darth Vader himself, David Prowse, as the monster. And he's a brutal monster in this film. Hacks up people with an axe. And this is such an underrated film. I just love it. Ralph Bates once again, and Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. Definitely highly recommend this one. This is just fantastic. It's almost like borderline slasher film. It's just a great twist on the classic story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, of course. Flipping instead of him becoming a monster at night, he becomes a woman. Beautiful woman, played by Martine Brestwick. Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. Love this one. Part of the Hammer Mummy series, and definitely one of my favorite, probably my favorite next to The Mummy, you know. It's got the beautiful Valerie Leon in all her glory. She does such a fantastic job. She's mesmerizing because she's so beautiful, and she does a great role here. You got Hands of the Ripper, another one that's like borderline slasher film. Yeah, a woman is possessed by Jack the Ripper, who is her father, and she becomes a murderous villain herself. And this is the Blu-ray version of Horror of Dracula. Unfortunately, this is a bare bones disc from Warner Brothers. They still, as far as I know, have not come up with a special edition version of Horror of Dracula, which just like kills me, you know. The Ultimate Hammer movie still doesn't have a collector's edition, at least in the United States anyway. But still, it's a great transfer, and I love the cover there. Speaking of covers, this is the most amazing cover I have ever seen on a Blu-ray. I mean, that's worth the price alone. Not to mention that it's an absolutely brilliant film. The Brides of Dracula. Look at that. That is amazing. And yeah, that's from Scream Factory. Scream Factory knows how to do it with Hammer films, you know. And that's Satanic Rites of Dracula. I did get the Blu-ray, and this is probably the best transfer you're going to get of this film. You see a lot of cheap, crappy transfers of this film, but yeah, definitely worth the price of admission because it's a nice transfer, even though there aren't any special features or anything. And you have Vampire Circus, such a fun, kind of freaky little movie, you know. Great vampire film. Probably the last great Hammer vampire film, I would say. Really cool. Alright guys, that's it for my Hammer Horror Collection Part 3. And thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Urshan, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared. Folks, don't forget to grab your Sean Patrick Urshan gear and represent the Horror Corner. Also, check out these awesome mugs we have, perfect for your coffee. And definitely check out the Horror Hangout live stream t-shirt and represent the legacy of the Horror Hangout. Check out the link in the description below this video.